I'm Dr. Henri Colt, and this presentation is part of Bronchoscopy Academy, an ongoing competency-based curriculum in flexible bronchoscopy. The goal of this work is to improve procedural understanding, anatomical recognition, and clinical judgment while helping reduce patient suffering associated with unequal expertise and inconsistent training. In this lecture, we will review the fundamentals of bronchoscopy equipment, including instrumentation, handling techniques, procedural ergonomics, airway access, sampling methods, and the observational habits that contribute to safe and effective bronchoscopy. Bronchoscopy began long before the bronchoscope enters the airway. It begins with the understanding of the instrument itself. The bronchoscope is not simply a device. It is an extension of the bronchoscopist's observation, judgment, and movement. These early images review the fundamental components of fiber optic instrumentation, the insertion tube, control section, universal cord, and light guide. Light transmitted through bundles of optical fibers creates the visual world through which bronchoscopy occurs. Now, some of this may seem historical to you, considering the new technologies available today. But let's remember that the fragility of these fibers reminds us that bronchoscopes are both precise and vulnerable. In the past, broken fibers produced black defects within the image. Damage to control mechanisms affected maneuverability. A compromised scope will alter perception itself. The bronchoscope, therefore, develops respect not only for anatomy, but also for equipment. Technical care becomes part of procedural competence. Airway entry begins with preparation. When using the nasal approach, understanding patient anatomy matters. A deviated septum, prior fracture, or narrowed passage may influence both comfort and procedural success. Generous lubrication with topical anesthetic helps reduce resistance and patient discomfort. When the oral route is chosen, the bite block becomes essential. The damaged bronchoscope shown here is more than an image of expensive repair. It illustrates a broader lesson. Small omissions in preparation often become larger problems later. The airway punishes haste. Visualization is everything in bronchoscopy. When images become blurred, one must think systematically. Secretions, blood, incomplete drawing, fluid intrusion, or equipment failure. The bronchoscopist must learn not to ignore subtle signs of equipment malfunction. Here, the small black dots shown represent broken fiber optic bundles. These defects alter the image and serve as reminders that repeated use leaves traces upon the equipment. Observation applies equally to machines and to patients. This next section focuses on something often underestimated in procedural education: how one holds the bronchoscope. Technique expresses posture, economy of motion, awareness, and control. Keeping the elbow tucked stabilizes movement. Standing upright preserves endurance. Avoiding exaggerated motions reduces fatigue and improves precision. The insertion tube should be stabilized, not twisted. The scope should remain aligned. The body should remain balanced. These principles may initially seem minor, yet procedural maturity emerges through the accumulation of small, disciplined habits. That's why these slides emphasize no dancing around the patient and the idea of elegance and awareness, which contain an important educational philosophy. Bronchoscopy performed well appears calm. Efficiency develops from restraint rather than force. Manipulation of the control section requires deliberate coordination between flexion, extension, and rotation. One important principle emerges repeatedly. Return to neutral before rotating. Neutral restores orientation. Orientation reduces trauma. And maintaining the bronchoscope near the center of the airway helps preserve both visualization and safety. Eventually, these movements become intuitive, but intuition develops only after repeated, deliberate practice. Even hand position deserves attention. The bronchoscopist learns to avoid unnecessary pressure on the patient's face while maintaining stability and control. These examples of unusual hand positions shown carry a deeper point. They are not only humorous. Technique evolves through correction. One first develops habits, then awareness, then refinement. And it is harder to break a bad habit than to acquire a good one. Let's remember posture, position, poise. These words may sound unusually philosophical, yet they belong here, because bronchoscopy involves more than technical execution. The patient experiences the bronchoscopist's confidence, calmness, and decisiveness. Competence reassures. Confusion transmits itself. The recommendation to act decisively and to comfort the patient reflects procedural ethics as much as procedural technique. When the procedure begins, preparation includes oxygen administration, lubrication, topical anesthesia, and gradual advancement through the upper airway toward the vocal cords and trachea. Additional anesthetic is delivered through the working channel. Inspection proceeds systematically through the tracheobronchial tree. This sequence reflects another recurring principle. Bronchoscopy should follow an organized path. Order reduces error. The working channel transforms bronchoscopy from observation into intervention. It is used for washings, lavage, brushings, forceps biopsies, transbronchial needle aspiration. Each technique depends not only upon technical skill, but also communication. We might use words such as traps on, brush out, needle out, open, close, and not ridiculous terms such as bite that might actually make patients afraid. Remember, even with conscious sedation, many are still aware of what's going on. These brief procedural commands reflect teamwork. Bronchoscopy rarely occurs as an isolated act. It depends upon the coordination among physicians, assistants, nurses, technicians, and pathology support. Competence extends beyond individual performance. It includes the ability to function within procedural systems. The bronchoscopist usually is the team leader. This final slide presents what might be called a philosophy of bronchoscopy itself. Several principles stand out, and I hope some of them will make you smile. Stay in the midline. Moderation. If you don't know where you are, you probably should not be there. Force is wrong. Slow down to finish faster. Treasure peace, harmony, and kindness. Transmit these to your patient. These statements initially appear simple, but they contain lessons acquired after years of procedural experience. Ultimately, bronchoscopy teaches patience, awareness, and restraint. Bronchoscopy Academy is part of an ongoing competency-based approach to bronchoscopy education. Our goal is to reduce patient suffering caused by unequal procedural expertise, inconsistent training, and preventable error. Additional educational resources, reflective essays, and narrated lectures are available at bronchoscopy.org and henricolt.substack.com.